the second week in a row I forgot to hit the record button. So anyway, I just read paragraph 2 of section 6, the restoration of the altar. And it reminded me that to remember that there is nothing outside of me. There is nothing outside of me. And it ties right in again to my part of my contract for this year at the very beginning, which is I surrender thoughts of looking for fault or answers outside of me. And I've said this is a year for me of radical responsibility and practice, practice, practice. I'm not doing it right all the time. I still often want to blame somebody or something outside of me for how I feel, how I'm reacting. But I know in my heart of hearts that it's not true. And I will use that for as long as it feels like I want to use it for. And as soon as I'm ready to let it go, I will. And it's perfect. It's perfect exactly as it is. I'm not going to I'm no longer interested in chastising myself or berating myself or belittling myself or bullying myself because I'm not doing all the things perfectly. Which, yeah, is really funny because, yeah, I am doing everything perfectly because everything is perfect exactly as it is. And I just get to remind myself of that all the time. So, Carla.
Maybe that's just coming up for healing, Linda. There's a couple of things. Sometimes I get caught in reading and I just read. The next thing I read, not this one, but I wanted to read this in paragraph 6, line 3. Both the separation and the fear were miscreations of the mind which have to be undone. So that leads to the first thing that when I'm reading, sometimes when I really read a line, and instead I used to go on, I just stop and sit with it and let it percolate, I guess. I don't know what the word is, but and so this is a line, the first line. As psychologists know, that's not the important part. When defenses are disrupted, there's a period of real disorientation, accompanied by fear, guilt, and usually a vacillation between anxiety and depression. I just had to, it just stopped. And then realized when fear comes up and whatever we say, we're fear, it's like, that's something arising for healing. Don't believe it. Just allow it to flow up and out and give it to God, whatever. And there's something that I feel prompted to read that I wrote it like, 2 or 3 weeks ago, but the I, which is Yahweh, are the vessel, the body is the vessel through which God expresses. And so sometimes in the poems, not any do I ever know how they'll end, how will come out. Often I don't know the names, but I know this one is God speaking to me. You cannot hide. You may think you hide from me, but that is not truly possible. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what you think you believe is your thought, no matter what you believe are your emotions, I know your heart, your true self, your divine self, as you were created. What you may show the world is not the true self. It's the character in this drama play of life. Life in this world, what physical life in this physical world seems. I know your beauty. I know your innocence. I know your brilliance, your purity. You may think you hide from me, but all you're truly doing is hiding from yourself. The physical self, it's not real. In its own way it is, but it's not us. It's not everything that we are. It's just an expression of whatever we wish to express as. We get to choose. Like it says in the way of mastery somewhere, it's like the power of choice is the one thing that can never be taken away from you. And the truth, there's only one choice, love, that we get because we're so loved by God, given the choice to choose something else if we wish. And I forget. We're all having a physical experience. Why? I don't know. To grow, to learn, to remember, to choose, believing, trusting, living in faith, no matter how it looks. Look, my wheelchair, the right brake broke like 10 days ago. I haven't gotten it fixed. It's, I can see that frustration and not being able to resolve it, not happening the way I want it to. But I know it's not, it's all perfect because we're all co-creating with each other. All I know is this: whatever we choose, that is taken by God, woven by what I call the master weaver into the very tapestry of life. We cannot fail. Isn't that what it says here? Somewhere in this reading? We cannot fail. Even if you think you are, even if you judge yourself or whatever you think, I mean, it's not the true self. The true self, the divine self, higher self, whatever you want to call it, loves us so much that even though it knows truth, if we hold something in our mind is true, we're given that. We're so loved. It's amazing how loved we are. And I shared something I really think I shared with them. Then the group just now telling us how wonderful we are. Tell yourself, because who's telling you otherwise? It's not God. It's not the divine self. It's not the truth of you. It's the separated, whatever you want to call it, the separate self, the ego, the whatever. Don't believe it. Maybe for a minute, if you want to, if you choose, your choice is given. Everything has already been given. You choose. It's not that it's done, it's already, it is, it's kind of is, but it's what I think what I say that this physical life is the ultimate interactive experience. We get to choose how it unfolds. And so I'm just offering love. That's all.
Thank you, Carla. Anybody else like to share what they got from the reading or something else from this past week? Go ahead, Diane.
I'll just kind of go off of both what Linda said and Carla said of kind of my experience recently kind of relates to it all of just last week I realized I've been trying to get out of survival mode. Been trying to get out of it. And then I realized I continue to choose it. Like, yes, there are things that are needing to be healed, yet I was seeing that it was a choice that I was continuing to make that I wasn't aware that I was continuing to make. And then, so since then, I've been shifting to choosing love and light. And every time that I see myself wanting to go back into the survival, the struggle, and all, like I keep coming back to it. And then this morning, I love that part of seeing the inside as gold because I've been looking at why am I so afraid of being my authentic self? Like I have real fears of being who I truly am. And now this morning, I'm kind of laughing like, why am I so afraid of it? Like it's love and light and it's lightness and peace and laughter and joy. And like, and yet I think I spent my whole life really learning how to feel the I'll just say lower emotions, the heaviness, the fear, the despair, desperation, urgency, like all of that. Like I've mastered that end of the spectrum of emotions. And I'm like, now like, oh, now I want to spend the rest of it learning how to feel the other emotions because I'm not able to access the feelings of those emotions. I mentally understand them. And so it goes to that choice of like choosing it and then also getting curious about like, what are all these things that are even there? And then kind of laughing and chuckling at myself, like, why am I very afraid of love? Why am I afraid of joy? And I know the things in the past that have created some of those, but like they've been healed. It's done. Like, don't need to keep, I just keep bringing them back in. So now I'm like choosing to continue to let them go. So it's just been kind of an interesting when you're on this awareness journey and seeing things that are popping up. And then when you have that shift, that you're given that miracle of a shift in like perspective and it like actually clicks, it's like, wow, like people tell me this, but I haven't been able to get it. And now when it like starts soaking in and really getting it, it's actually quite beautiful. So yeah, so that's my share for the week.
Thank you, Diane. That's so exciting. Thank you. Catherine.
What comes up for me, because some of us went to this quantum counseling yesterday, so lots of things came up. And I've just been in this wonder today about, we look at little children all around us, and they're happy and they're joyful. And sure, they get maybe mad and upset, but 2 seconds later, they're okay. And it just made me wonder what happens to us and when that we drop that knowingness that it's all okay. Because I think that's what's happened to us. We have crossed over some line, but isn't it amazing? Because I look at all of us, look at us that are in classes, taking this class or that class, and and I'll just use the word struggle because that's probably where we are. We're struggling to understand how we got here. How do we crawl out of the deep hole we dug? And why don't we crawl out of the deep hole we've dug? I mean, it just has caused me to ponder. Because it's a self choice, you guys. And it didn't hit me this way till people were talking yesterday. And it's like, and then in a way, we're our own worst enemies in that we are here to learn and we're trying our best. But what we see in others, look at the labeling we do. That's what got me yesterday, how much we label. And I had not thought about, oh, I'm labeling that person when I'm sitting in some kind of spiritual session. I'm still labeling them. And it hit me yesterday that, oh, if I'm labeling, I got it. And and just to own that, I love your radical responsibility because that's what this is. I don't want to own it, I guess, you know. And yet, I can honestly sit here and say today that, oh yeah, that is what I need to do. I have nothing to be afraid of. And yet, as you just said, Diane, we are. We're so afraid we're going to do it wrong or that we're not good enough. That's a big one. Not good enough, not good enough. And that we continue to want to sit in this victim mentality, which is what I see a lot when I'm sitting with people, is the victimness. And so here I am on a rant about victimness. And I cannot see it here. I mean, I did yesterday. It's like, uh, and I'm laughing because it's like, oh my gosh, all it takes is a moment and we're there. But we keep having to come back. That's what I'm getting here. We just have to give ourselves permission to go there. And because look at the instant noticing that we can have. But I guess the instant noticing has to continue till we've been through several rounds of this. And, there's just no more instances that need to be corrected. So, I mean, this is beautiful. I do find myself, though, Linda and the bunch, I find myself going back to the Blue Book to see, well, how does this compare? What's different? And I was looking in this section, I was looking for that beautiful prayer that's in section 2 of the Blue Book, and I couldn't find it in the Purple Book. But it's I am here only to be truly helpful prayer. And I couldn't find, maybe it's here somewhere. It's just maybe not here. But those are the things that, oh, they didn't put that in here. What? So making a judgment. But how lovely to have both books. And there's realization, there's truth everywhere. And we can't get it all at once. I'm really getting that we can't get it all at once. And I'm one of those that I just like to have it right now. And and so I just have to sit with that it's okay. You are doing the practice. We are doing the practice. We are helping one another walk forward. And what I can't hear today, maybe I'll hear tomorrow. Well, thank you for allowing us to have this kind of exploration, Linda, because without this, we're stuck, you know? So we're not.
Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, I just I forget often. You spot it, you got it. And maybe it's healed, but you're still recognizing it because you had it at one point, you know? So, yeah, radical responsibility. We're doing it. Go ahead, Nancy Gill.
As soon as Catherine started talking, I had the visualization. You said, why? And it was very first when you started, I said, why? The little kids. And I said, oh, because they just had the feeling, they expressed it, and then we went on. Because they were allowed to. They just, so they went on. It's like, so, and here, just before we started, as we were starting, Amy sent me this picture. She's a little girl that she used to babysit for when she was a baby. And the little girl's now, her name's Via. She's 7. Amy sent me, so now she's got a little brother. So here's Amy. She said, she went on a morning walk with Via. She's not in the picture. And her little brother. And Amy's the one. This is the picture. She said, can you see it? They're up by a pond someplace. And look at Amy. Look at on her face and look at the hair she's wearing. And these kids are like, just it's like, she doesn't have any children, so. But Via is like, she's the spitting image. I said, Amy, that's you when you were little. She's got the same shyness and the whole, and this is Roland. He's 2.5 or 3. I guess he's 3 now. But there's my kid. There's my baby. And just as she was saying, as Catherine was saying, they just like, and it's just like, there she is. And she was the one that cried when she was born because she was like little handful. That's how she was. But that's what she did this morning. And look at the smile on her face. I don't know if you can see it, but I just thought, oh, that's why, because they are allowed to be and express, and then they go on. They weren't shut down or anything like that, or judged or punished for. That's the difference. The freedom of expression as you go along, and you just go along, and then from moment to moment, it's like, that's so cool. Anyway.
Thank you, Nancy Gill. Anybody else like to share anything? Go ahead, Paula.
I like number 6, for perfect effectiveness, the chalice of atonement belongs at the center of the inner altar, where it undoes the separation and restores the wholeness of the mind. And I like to look at the cameos, and I was reading the cameo because Jesus, Helen was having an issue with, his name was Wally, who was a friend of, what's his name, Bill. And she didn't like him. She didn't like him. And Jesus says, until you give him the chalice, you're not going to get this. And how often do I need to remember that? And until because, like Catherine was saying, we get reminded of these things. And what I have to remember is to not have the judgment with it, because that's what I used to do. I'd be in a group and I'd see somebody and think, oh my God, I'm just like them. Oh, I'm so terrible, blah, blah, blah. But no, today I don't judge it. I just choose to forgive it. Forgive myself. And, that's what, I don't know, today's lesson really got to me. Just forgive without judgment. It's such a freedom. And, I'd love to give the chalice to everyone. And as we were doing the meditation, I was thinking about, okay, I've already really, really practiced seeing the Christ in Trump. I really have. But then there's the senators that, that are in there and I think, okay, I am going to give the senators the challenge too, because, and then then there's the ones that are banning books. Okay, I need to give them, it goes on and on and on. And I think I don't have any opinions about this stuff. Right. So, I just need to see the Christ in all of them and know that there's a reason for this. And I have no idea what anything is for. I really don't. I think I do. And I think my way is the right way. But I don't know what anything is for. And I'm willing to hand over that beautiful chalice to everyone. So, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Paula. Handing the chalice over. But there's some people that don't get it. And I can laugh at that part of myself now, like, no, you don't get the chalice. Nope, not today.
Yep. And you know what else is so cool is that even Helen, who Jesus was talking to,
Right?
writing all this crap down, still has all this human things.
Yeah.
And she was willing to write it down so that we can look at it. It's just
Absolutely.
awesome. So how can we judge ourselves when we have these little slips?
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Yeah. I was having a moment last week because it was more than a moment. It was a few days, I have to admit, because I decided like early last week that I was going to clean all the carpets in the house. And so I got my carpet cleaner out and I was cleaning all the carpets in the house. And then 2 days later, my Lucky's in distress and she's peeing all over the house. And I was just freaking right out. I was just freaking out. And I could feel like my nervous system was like this should not be happening. And I'm a victim of this situation. And oh my God, I let myself get worked up into a frenzy. And, the very beginning of this, like Carla read, as psychologists know, when defenses are disrupted, there is a period of real disorientation accompanied by fear, guilt, and usually vacillation between anxiety and depression. And I was like, the world is so dark. There's nothing worth living for in this world. Because my cat was peeing on the carpets that I cleaned. How quickly we can get there. But then now I can laugh at it. Now I know that as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go check on her again because I just heard her meowing in there. But I know that was perfect for my learning, for my ability to come to that realization that I don't have to live in that space anymore where anything that is happening outside of me has a negative effect on me that I'm going to use to keep me from doing anything that is loving.
What's even more amazing, Linda, is that you created that exactly so you could learn that. It's so amazing. It's so amazing.
It is amazing. It pisses me off a little bit, but it's still amazing. Oh man. Yeah.
You know what? It's like I've been doing this. It's like what does it say? The process discussed here is different only in that defenses are not being disrupted but reinterpreted, even though it may be experienced the same thing as the same thing. But and then it's like from the prayer thing yesterday when Jennifer was saying it's like the God prayer. It's like, and she wrote down when I wrote it, I must allow the prayer to be. Okay. And it's like what's going on with me is all of these, my story. Let's just say take my story that I've been telling for years. It's like now I went the new pieces like the new realizations or new insights about the stuff is coming up because, and I'm thinking, why is this? It's like the story. It's now had gaps in it, and now with where I am in the process here is new pieces are coming up. I'm looking at it from, instead of looking at it from down here, I'm looking at it from up here. And so what I figured out yesterday, I was talking with my prayer partner, was like, oh, I'm seeing it from a higher perspective, from a different angle. And so now, and I'm up here. And so now I'm ready to see the bigger picture, the more complete picture, because I'm up here now rather than still down here. So now I can take these new pieces and fit it in, and I don't have the same, all that garbage. I'm sorry, that's my expression. But it was like, and then it says, it may be experienced as the same thing. In the reinterpretation of defenses, they're not disrupted, but their use for attack is lost. Since this means they can be used only one way, they become much stronger and also much more dependable. They no longer oppose the atonement, but greatly facilitate it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So now it's like it's like I'm on this thing and everything. It's like wonderful. And then but I get overwhelmed because I got all this, and I get overwhelmed. And then when that just is like, it's like, I say, oh, I'm going from overwhelmed to underwhelmed. And I sit here, it's like what you just said, Linda. It's like, what's the point of my life? It's like, what what am I supposed to do now? Wow, it's like, oh, I don't have any of this. It's like boring. No, it's like boring. It's like, I sit here and it's like, it's like, what? And it's like this totally different, sort of the same, but it's totally different. It's like, I don't have all this stuff to be angry about. So now what do I do? So then it's like, the thing is, like Carla was just saying, I finally got this piece where we decide before we incarnate what we want this life. I decided before I came here what I wanted this life to be for. And so, like, lately, as everybody's was saying, everything is for your good. And I've been sitting here, well, what's the good in this? What was the good in the cancer? What is the good in this and this and this? Finally, I said, I'm asking the wrong question. What's the lesson here? What is the lesson that I wanted to learn? That's why I put this there. What was the lesson? Okay. That's the question to ask. What's the lesson? Or some people are saying, well, this is an opportunity. And it's like, so I said, oh. And then realizing we're all one and we all do the same type of thing, but each one of our lives is a variation of that same thing. So everybody that's here did the same thing as I did. They all decided, so we're all like in this together. We all agreed to, I'm playing this role in your guys' lives, you're playing your roles in my life,
Right.
and all the rest of it. So it's like, oh, so finally when I see it like that, it's like, okay. It's like totally, it's not overwhelming anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
That
And
makes
if
sense.
we go back to the manual for teachers in the development of trust section, we can see that how he talks about, there's point where it seems like things are being taken away from you. And there's a point of undoing. And, here he's talking about the point of disruption and disorientation.
Yeah.
It's that's exactly how it's supposed to be. It doesn't mean it feels good, but that doesn't mean that it's not exactly as it's supposed to be.
But it's the actually knowing that, or
Yes.
learning that's the way.
Makes it.
That's what takes the
Yes.
out of it. It's
Yeah,
like,
because then we
oh,
can realize too that that is what has strengthened our trust. That is what has strengthened our ability to see things differently with the eyes of Christ instead of our body's eyes, and know
yeah,
that everything is good.
yeah,
For that, Nancy.
yeah. I have one more. Can I? Does anybody want to say something? Can I have a minute.
Paula has her hand raised, but
Oh, okay, go
if
ahead.
it's something quick, you can share it.
No, I was just going to say, like, it's like what Jennifer was saying yesterday. I said something, and when he took a break, he won, and I forget what I was saying. It was about the I remember it last night. The all I remember was the willingness. You're not that you don't. You're praying and you're not getting you're not hearing the answer. You're not getting the answer, but you think you're not getting. But then it's like, I can't make it quick. I'll come back to it later.
Okay.
It's the thing is all those years I waited 4 years. I was looking for that book, that copy of the lessons. I mean
Yeah.
the text. 4 years, and I kept looking and looking every book, and it's finally, and I realized, it's like last night I was thinking about it. I said, oh, and then I turned it over to Spirit, and 5 minutes later, behind the chair, the book was right on the top. And how many times I looked? Why? Because I never turned it over to Spirit.
Right.
I always kept saying, I. It's the same thing with my wanting to heal my family. It's like,
Yeah.
I knew exactly I wanted it to be this way. It has to be this way. There has to be. How many years, all of these years that I've been in this community,
Yeah.
right? Now, what did I do? I turned it over to Spirit, and I said, tell me how.
Yeah.
Right? Go to Thanksgiving, and I walk in, and everybody's,
Yeah. That's the miracle.
how many
We
years?
surrender it. Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh my
But you've
God.
done it now. You've done it now. So you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for hearing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute myself. Go ahead, Paul.
Go ahead, Paula.
Yeah, I'm Nancy. How many years have we heard you saying that? And we've all prayed. We are doing this together. We are doing this together. And when you heal that, we all heal. And I was going to say, Linda, how many years have I lived my life like that? Never even realizing that I was in the dark, depressing, no hope, So I feel that sometimes this stuff comes back to me for me to be grateful. I don't have to live like that anymore. Yes, I have bouts of it, but I have a way to get out of it. And my whole life was like that. Oh my God, living under a rock, with no help. But I was going to say, and then number 9, I love this. The spiritual eye literally cannot see error and merely looks for atonement. And I've been trying to get in that habit of immediately when I get up, okay, Holy Spirit, what would you have me do today? Oh, somebody calls. Oh, let me pause and hold it. What would you have me say today? What would you have me be my life today? Try to remember that, and it gets easier and easier, this mind training. But man, I'm rather a senior citizen, and it's taken me a lot of years. The mind training started from the Catholic up until God only knows, and now the next half of my life, I'm mind training completely opposite of everything I was trained. So I'm trying to be more gentle with myself when I have these slips, and have these opinions of how everybody should be. And Lord, it's getting better. It's finally showing up in my life outside of this room. Because when I'm in this room and I'm with all you guys, oh my, I'm just so spiritual and loving, and oh God, yes. But when I walk out this door, you know what I mean? You walked on my clean floor. You pissed on the rug. So, but it's getting more evident around my family and around my husband, and just walking out the store, and me. I take you all with me more every time we're together. So that gives me such hope. So yes, thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, Paula. We have to walk out into the world with these practices, with these conversations, with the feelings that we have from gathering together and sharing with each other, and remembering to laugh even when we're angry. Like sometimes I just have to look at myself and go, what are you doing? You know, like there's a separate part of me that's standing just outside of the part of me that's, you know, having a little drama moment. What are you doing? And why are you doing that? Is that really helpful? Is it really making you happy? You just need to let that go, you know?
You know, I don't remember in my life ever laughing and enjoying anything until, especially lately. And when Paula said when she goes to the store, she's taking us all with her. And I said, "Oh, make sure you call us and tell us we're going to the store."
Yeah. We had that in Sunday. I co-hosted the End My Self Sabotage, our last group counseling session. And one of the participants was having a challenging event coming up. And I told her, I said, take us with you, take us to dinner with you, and know that we're there holding you. And, you know, it may seem like woo woo, you know, like, but it's true. If I can remember that y'all are with me, even after this computer gets shut off, what a huge difference it makes in my life, you know, because I know that I can come back here and commiserate with you next week about how angry I was because I cleaned all my carpets in the house and then a cat's peeing all over the house. Whatever. It is what it is. So I got a little exercise cleaning the carpets. I'll look at it that way. Yeah. And just the fact that I can laugh at it at all, you know, in the midst of my cat making her transition. That's
I was going to say, do you ever clean the house? Or yesterday I thought, you know, I'm gonna put bleach in this floor. I'm gonna clean this really good, and think it's gonna stay that way.
yeah.
I mean, and then like even before somebody comes over for the holiday, I clean everything, dust everything. I mean, everything is so clean, and within 5 minutes, you can't even tell I did anything. So you know what I mean? So you got to just let it go. I mean, not that I'm not going to clean, but
Right.
I expect, okay, I've cleaned this now and it's going to stay that way. And it's just me and my husband. And let me tell you right now, it does not stay that way. We live in the country and it does not stay that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny too, because I feel like we kind of feel that way about our spiritual practice too. That, you know, we clean it once and then it's done. We don't have to worry about it again. But you know what? Something else always comes up and we got to clean it again, clean it again. And that, you know, we're doing whatever layer, whatever depth of cleaning out the crap that we can in any given moment. And, you know, just remembering again what I've heard Esther Hicks say, Abraham say through Esther Hicks, like you never get it done, but you never get it wrong.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I started, if I don't know, years ago, and people were talking about process? I said, what? I said, I don't know. What is process? I don't understand what process. Remember, I said, I'm an event person. I do it once the right way,
Yes.
perfectly, and that's it. Seriously. And
That's what we
I
think.
don't know if you guys were laughing at me or what, but it's like,
Only
And I
laughing
remember I
because
used to be a
I've been there too.
perfect housekeeper. And Will's cousin, we lived around the corner for Tony. She comes over and she says, how do you do this? I said, I don't know. And then so one day, my mother-in-law and auntie, she and auntie, they were coming. So I did all the dusting perfect. There was a speck of dust on anything. And front of us, like, so somehow we got into conversation and she said, I said, well, I just do, you know, what you do. She said, oh, really? I said, yeah. She says, well, I got news for you. She says, she just goes around the edges and does this. Like, she doesn't lift everything up and clean it. I said, how many years? 20?
Yeah.
All the time. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I'm gonna end us a little bit early because I keep hearing Lucky in the other room and I want to tend to her. She is my priority for the day. So next week we will go into section 7, chapter 2, section 7, the miracle as means for healing. In my book, it's page 79 through 83. And reading our insights from Pathways of Light. For lesson 121 today, forgiveness is the key to happiness. Ain't that the damn truth? Forgiveness is letting the veil of separation be lifted from my mind. If the veil of separation is not lifted, I will focus on what bodies do and say, period. I will focus on individual identities, separated and alone. I will think that this is true and real. Forgiveness helps me learn to look past the illusions of separation. Forgiveness helps me look past the belief in sin and death. I learn forgiveness from my true self as I am willing to receive the truth. My truth self lifts the veil of separation from my mind, and then I am able to see the light behind the isolated, separated forms. I am able to see the light behind the fearful behavior. And as I continue to practice this, it teaches me to find the light behind my separated identity. Only my true self can lift the veil. My separated mind only knows of separation and teaches only this. My true self teaches me to look for and find the light of God that is behind every false image of separation. My true self teaches me that this alone brings me true lasting happiness. It releases me from fear. It releases me from believing in death or that anyone could be harmed. It releases me from the false mind, which always looks for guilt. When guilt is gone, there is only innocence to see. Here is peace. Here is eternal love. Here is happiness. Forgiveness is the answer to every perceived problem. When I am angry or sad or mad or depressed, forgiveness is the answer. When I feel alone and afraid, forgiveness is the answer. Forgiveness lifts the veil and returns the truth of my identity as part of God to my awareness. The exercise in today's lesson takes a different approach than I would have expected. Based on the subject, from the little mind's perspective, it seems like the obvious approach would be to think of something somebody did that offended me and then try to forgive the offense. This is the typical ego approach. First, it makes the error real and then tries to disregard the error while still maintaining its reality. Instead, this exercise disregards anything the enemy may have done. It merely tells us to select someone we regard as offensive in some way. And then it tells us to look for the light in that person. It is training us to look past the form because the form is not real. What seemed to happen was only a dream of illusions, interacting with illusions, and could not be real. The exercise trains us to look past the unreal to the real, past the shadows to the light. As we can allow ourselves to see the light in an enemy and equate that light with the light in a friend, it becomes easy then to equate that light with the light in ourselves. Our unity then becomes obvious. And in my mind, I have joined with my brothers. Forgiveness has happened. I need to practice looking past images and forms to the light that represents the unity of all things with the one source of light. Sometimes a specific offensive event seems so real to me that I am unable to see past it to the light. This is when I need to remind myself that I cannot be my own teacher, for I have taught myself to see the offense, not the light. This is when I need to turn to the teacher within, to let him show me the unreality of interactions between images and help me see the light beyond the darkness. Forgiveness is exquisitely simple. I need only see the light in my brother, give it my full attention. That is all. The only reason this seems difficult at any time is because of my unwillingness to give up being right about my judgment. I have made up a litany of rules and taught myself to judge by them. Not once has this judgment ever brought me real happiness. Now I'm willing to be taught by the teacher of light how to see the light where it is and disregard all empty images. I am grateful for this lesson, which takes me another step toward recognizing that I am in heaven now. In reality, I never left. I have only been dreaming of being on a distant shore. As I was reading this lesson, I noticed I was constantly nodding my head in agreement with what happens with an unforgiving mind. The reason I know that is because who the lesson is describing is me. That's so often how I feel. That's what I'm afraid of. That's how I've been living so much of my life. No wonder the Course says that if we're living in fear, we're not really living. It's taken me years to realize that I've been looking for love in all the wrong places. But what I love about the Course is that it tells me that's okay. I don't need to beat myself up over what could have been. On the contrary, the multitude of mistakes I've made have just turned out to be blessings because they have brought me to my knees and surrender to the freedom of the Course that it offers me. Thank you, everybody. Say a prayer for my little Lucky Lou.
Will do, sweetie. Thank you, and good luck here.
Thank
Thank you. Love you.
Love
Yeah.
y'all. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye for now.